Computer games have captured the soul of a generation. For the first time in history, we can create a new and more thrilling version of life. You can be a soldier, a superhero, a super vixen, or a mythical warrior. You are master of the universe. Computer games are a force of darkness and light. From fighting wars to spreading propaganda and mayhem, they are a crucial part of our future. And whether you play them or not, computer games are going to change your life. Consumers now spend $25 billion a year on computer games and game systems. 800 million people worldwide are regular players. Their massive popularity has made them into a 21st century entertainment force that rivals Hollywood. Every year, the biggest companies in the industry try to outdo each other in an effort to create buzz for their new games.
All the trades, the retailers, the financial analysts, the promotion partners like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, whoever we want to do tie-ins with, they all come here to see who's hot and who's not.
It's a high-stakes business. The development cost of a new game has gone from $40,000 to $10 million in a decade. 80% of games fail in the first year. But for those who succeed here, the payoff is huge. The game industry's biggest hitmaker is Will Wright. He's the creator of the most popular game in history, The Sims, a game where players create a new and better version of real life.
I think if I imagine games and the impact they've had on our culture, I think probably the biggest impact is that the way kids learn, especially about complex things. Rather than pick up a book and start learning theories, they actually can be thrown into these complex environments and they will just kind of randomly start mashing buttons and looking at the results. And I think that way of relating to the world is kind of very different than the generation that preceded them.
As the creator of a hit that has sold almost 60 million copies, Will Wright is game royalty, the industry's Steven Spielberg. After years in development, Will Wright is ready to launch his newest game, Spore, where the player begins as a single-celled organism and climbs the evolutionary ladder to become the creator of an entire world. In a shrewd marketing move, he invites his friend, comedy great Robin Williams, to test drive the game.
Mr. Robin Williams.
My English is not so good.
Yeah, let's bring him to life and just see how long before basically this one's eaten.
I put it over here. I think I flip out it. Oh no, hold on. This is a creature who can kiss its own ass. Hold on. 2 mouths. This is obviously a creature developed in Hollywood that can talk out of both sides.
Games to me have always represented kind of the playful side of life. In fact, I think play and games are both aspects of education, and I really enjoy learning things. And so I think our culture has kind of disconnected the idea of play from education, as play is this disposable, meaningless thing. In fact, play is one of the most meaningful activities that we can engage in.
This demographic moves fast, they think fast, they multitask, they need to be engaged, they need to be interactively involved with entertainment. And that's what gaming does. So it's by far and away the preferred form of entertainment. 18 to 34-year-old men have reduced their daily consumption of television down to 27 minutes. By contrast, they're now spending 2 hours a night on average playing games, 4 times what they spend on television.
What we have in the digital generation is a new sort of sense that they're able to change the image on the screen. They're able to communicate through the image on the screen. They're able to express themselves through the image on the screen.
There's never been a time before when you had another world to go to. When you had your Narnia, you went into the wardrobe and it was somewhere else. Never before have people had the option of saying, I don't like this physical world I've got, I'm going somewhere better.
Games represent probably the most powerful new form of expression that's emerged in the last 30 or 40 years. I think if you look at the history of any new medium, new media technology, what you discover is that young people are among the early adopters and adapters of that technology, that they move in quickly. They're looking for a world that their parents haven't already occupied. It's outside the realm of their parents' experience.
Computer games are creating a revolution in the way we play and the way we live. They may even be changing the way we think. They are the native language of a new virtual world. It is a world that already exists in South Korea, the most wired country on the planet. Here, computer gamers are national heroes, rich, famous, and sought after. A large match between elite players can draw 25,000 passionate and partisan fans. 23-year-old Kang Min is one of Korea's top players and one of the most famous people in the country. He's been a professional gamer since the age of 16.
I make more money than most other gamers. I make a lot of money.
The game he plays is now the country's newest spectator sport, StarCraft. In a good year, Kang Min can make $250,000 playing this strategy game. It requires razor-sharp intelligence and is played at a blinding velocity, like chess at warp speed. Kang Min is one of the fastest players ever and can execute over 500 separate actions every minute. He routinely practices more than 14 hours a day. The team sponsor is KTF, one of the largest cell phone companies in the country.
2005년 5월 9일
The popularity of this new spectator sport is driven by 2 TV channels devoted exclusively to game programming. They're equal parts MTV and ESPN. StarCraft matches attract the highest ratings. The television producers have masterminded the creation of a star system designed to appeal to a largely female audience. The best and the cutest players are media darlings and have fan clubs with hundreds of thousands of members. In South Korea, computer nerds are the sex symbols for the 21st century. Behind the scenes, the life of a pro gamer is less glamorous. There are over 100 matches each year with no off-season. The players range in age from 16 to 24 and spend long periods away from their families. Before an important match, the team sponsor sends the team out of Seoul to train in isolation. For their financial backers, this team is serious In the past 5 years, KTF has invested over $50 million to create a championship-winning team. They are a marketing juggernaut. Having a winning team is all part of a strategy to create cachet for their mobile phones among young teenagers. The day